everyone. It's Nick Rodway here with Core Assets Corp, and I'm pleased to be here today to bring you through our latest news release where we announce that we are beginning drilling this week. And we also have a 3D model which we were going to present and show our targets and our plan for this year's drilling season, which is going to be a really exciting one. So this first image we have on the screen here is the general area and location of the Silver Line project. And what it does is it outlines each of our targets. We have the Falcon target, which is an epithermal target. We have a Jackie target, which is CRD, Grizzly CRD, Pete's CRD, Galley's a CRD target. And then we have our Sulphide City skarn porphyry target, which we believe to be the main source that is producing all the mineralization in all of these other targets. The underlay here is our total magnetic intensity. This was an airborne survey which we flew in 2021. And in this news release, we will show how we have inverted this magnetics to show what is beneath the surface of the Earth. So as we go along here, we're fading in now our satellite imagery, and you'll note that we have a scale bar here of 3.5 kilometers. And what that outlines is the distance between two of some of our best intercepts for carbonate replacement from Jackie to Pete. So it's the largest distance between two drilled occurrences that produced really good high-grade CRD results. Then we also have these red lines that are on the screen here, and they show major fault structures that rip through our Silver Line project. And you'll also notice that most and all, mainly, of our targets are located very proximal or at these regional fault structures. And that's what you would expect to see from a carbonate replacement system. They follow, your mineralization comes up from a central source, finds the easiest pathway to get to surface and carbonate, which is your blue unit here. And then it follows up these large structures, and that's where we see it at surface. You'll also see that there's these blue, different shades of blue spheres. And what they represent is the darker the sphere, the higher grade silver, and the lighter, the lower grade. So generally, as you step out away from the porphyry, you generally get higher grade silver. And we have hundreds of samples that are well over 100 grams silver and some over a kilogram per ton silver. So just to outline some of our successful drill holes that we've done so far, and again, note the scale here, 3.5 kilometers in between the Jackie and the Galley. There's about 2.4 kilometers between the Galley and the Pete's. And then the Grizzly is about 2 kilometers away from Galley. So at Grizzly, we hit 5.64 meters or about 10% zinc lead combined, 0.1 copper, and about a quarter of a kilogram silver. Within that, we had about 50% combined metal, including silver, zinc, lead, and copper, about 0.5% copper in that intercept, and there's some gold as well. We go down to our best intercept from last year, which was 6.4 meters of about 5.2 ounces silver, and also around just over 17% zinc lead and 0.23% copper. Then another really good intercept we had was 2.4 kilometers to the south, and that was at our Galley target, and we had 8 meters of 140 grams per ton silver, 3.5% zinc lead, also a copper credit. Within that, we had a 1 kilogram per ton silver sample with 32% zinc lead and over 1% copper. So the main thing to note here is that, the scale is massive. We're hitting with the drill bit in our carbonate replacement, very shallow holes, and also, we have a copper credit. So that means that we believe the copper is coming from a central source below Sulphide City area. As we zoom in here, we're just trying to show the distance between, again, Grizzly and Galley, which is multi-kilometer. We have our mapped porphyry at surface here, which is mapped at 400 meters. That's at surface. And then we have our little spheres coming in here, which now represent the copper content at surface. And you'll see as we go through this slideshow that magenta, deeper magenta, both equals a geophysical target or a higher chargeability anomaly, and it also shows increase in copper. So we're zooming in here to this center porphyry. Everything is pointing us into this central point. So with our geochem data to date, we were able to create a geochemical zonation pattern, which again is honing us in on the sulfide city target. So as you get closer in, you're going to get higher copper. As you step out into the red and yellow, your copper drops out, and you generally get the introduction of lead, zinc, and then silver in your furthest out area. And again, note the size at surface here of 2.3 kilometers. So next we are introducing our 3D inverted magnetics. So you'll see that in this pale pinkish color beneath. So the total area of what we've discovered here at depth with our 3D magnetics measures about 3.7 kilometers in length. And we zoom in here to where we have already drilled. So again, the Pete's, Grizzly, they were both carbonate replacement style drilling, and Galley also. There was only one area where we drilled some semi-deep holes, one being hole 006, which you can see right here going down into this magenta blob here. And that one did hit some very, very good copper numbers. And the last 22 meters of the hole had about 0.35% copper equivalent. And at 315 meters depth in particular, that's where we started to see a really big increase in vein density. Molybdenum picked up big time, and then we started to get the introduction of copper. At the very end of the hole here, we had 2.5% copper equivalent. And throughout this whole hole, we are getting intermittent intersections of high-grade skarn. So now what we're doing is we're introducing our 3D IP survey, which we did in late 2023 in August. And that's good for about 750 meters depth. So we overlay that on top of our inverted magnetics, which is in again, the pale pink. And what we came up with is some extremely highly chargeable areas of rock. So chargeability, again, is the ability of a rock to store electric charge. So you can get minerals like copper, silver, gold, iron. All of these minerals are chargeable. These numbers that we're getting here are abnormally high. They're extremely high chargeability numbers. So we've outlined three main targets here, geophysical targets to aim at this year. One, and the very first that we will attack, is the sulfide city target. We'll be drilling a little bit deeper, coming in from the east back into this anomaly. As you see this model turn now, you will see that the hole 006 only just grazed this anomaly, and everything that we've done to date is telling us to drill deeper. The increase in copper, everything else, the scale here, the size of this anomaly at depth, the inverted mag, everything is telling us to go deeper. And also we have some additional targets, such as the Pete's target. So we drilled just to the south of this large chargeability and magnetic anomaly, overlapping anomaly. And then to the south, we drilled just a couple hundred meters away from another large anomaly. And they could be some large skarn CRD deposits that are feeding what we see at surface coming up on these red fault lines. So again, you're seeing overlapping chargeability and magnetic anomalies, and they all correlate with the locations of mineralized intrusions that we've mapped at surface, and they exceed depths of 1 kilometer depth. So now what we've outlined here is this is our carbonate unit, which is there's a large fold structure coming down here, which is to the north, and it correlates well with our drilling where we hit those large intercepts at Pete's, the 6.4 meters of 5.2 ounces per ton silver with the 17% zinc, lead, and copper. And then we also have, again, that large chargeability feature just to the north, very underexplored and undrilled, of course. So with that, that completes our model to date. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out. And thank you very much for your time.